People will tell you that you must first develop your brand, create your offering, and build your website before you do anything else. And that can cost you a lot of time and money. That's the only way you can be really in business. And here's why that's wrong. Because unless you're famous, no one knows you from your competition. The real way to do it is to connect with your potential clients, those who are interested in your offering, even before you create it. We call it flying the plane as you're building it. And here's why it works, because you are attracting and developing relationships with those that God has chosen for you to serve. The key to success really lies in cultivating genuine connections with your audience, your ideal clients, right from the outset. By prioritizing this relationship building and market validation over the flashy branding and elaborate product development, you can establish a solid foundation for your business that is rooted in authenticity, trust, and deep understanding for your customers, your clients' needs. So I want you to join us today, wise woman, as we chat about 5 specific results that you can achieve with this approach to your business. First, loyal clients and customers. Second, market validation. Third, valuable feedback. Fourth, authenticity and trust. And fifth, cost effectiveness. We like the cost effectiveness part.
Yeah,
I,
definitely.
I'm Deneen TV.
And this is Mary Allure.
Welcome to another episode of the Truth in Business Show, where the truth is God's word and business is how we serve.
Yes, yes. And we have to start off, an testimonial from one of our clients. Her name was Misty, and she was very enthusiastic after she had her first relationship building call. So I'm going to read her what she had posted in our Facebook group. She said, just had finished my first ICA call, which is ideal client avatar call. Holy moly, God is amazing. And it went way better than I could have hoped or imagined. Thank you for the prep and the feedback and my questions. I guess this counts as my win for the week.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Those are calls that we do are so
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
So amazing. And I hope that we can inspire you all
Yeah.
to want to build these relationships as well. But before we get into the topic of the day, we want to remind everyone to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. If you're watching, also ring the bell so that you know when we have a video uploaded. And if you're a podcast listener, I know some of you just love podcasts, make sure that you're following us. And over there, you give us the 5-star rating, and please do share the episode on whatever platform that you are on.
Yes.
So, you know what? Let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is when I first started in business. I might as well do a personal story, right? I was told by other coaches that I was working with, other business owners that I was meeting, other entrepreneurs, that I really needed to develop my brand, my colors, my wording, my this, my that. I had to create the offering. What was my product, quote, product or service going to be? And they told me that I had to build a website before I could have a real business.
Yes.
Now, I know, Mary, that you're a website designer, but by the time you met me, I was in a very different place. And so what, did you believe the same thing as me? Were people telling you the same thing?
I believed the same thing, and I did the same thing. And I developed my own website, which was easy for me to do. But I, even in the beginning, worked with clients and did that for my clients. And in hindsight, of course, I now see how that was a mistake, and they didn't sell anything. And
Yeah.
I could go into the whole story of how I helped one client. She had merchandise. We did a beautiful website. She had photos taken of these t-shirts and journals and everything, and nobody bought. You know who bought was her friends and family.
Yeah.
But because she had relationships with those people.
Exactly.
If she had built relationships instead of investing all the time and money and all the fancy stuff, she could have sold more.
Definitely. I hired a branding coach at the beginning of my journey into what I do now, but I was already, I was already running a networking group with Christian
Mm.
businesswomen. So I was
Mhm.
already developing relationships. I was already listening to them. But what I did is the branding coach steered me in a direction that she thought would be amazing because I was going to be able to do something that she had never heard anybody else do before.
Ah,
That was my personalized faith plan. That was
yeah.
my
Yeah.
first website, which of course I had to pay for because I was not the website designer.
Right,
And
right.
and I spent a lot of time because I had to get all the branding right. I had to get
Oh,
the wording
oh,
right. I had to get the
it's a long
pictures.
process.
It is a big process.
Yeah.
And and but even though I knew that people, these women that I was working with, that I was talking to, that I was having experiences with, needed this. They didn't want it. They didn't know that they wanted it. They didn't
Yeah.
understand it. So, even though I hustled around trying to educate people about it, explain it, I, I didn't have people just coming to my website. It wasn't, that's not going to
No,
happen.
that's not going to
And
happen.
I did sell a few, but it was a lot of work to sell a few,
Yeah.
and it wasn't based on my website at all. It wasn't based on my
Right.
website at all.
Isn't that the truth? Just like my client. It
Mhm.
wasn't based on the website or her
Yeah,
fancy stuff. No, it was just based because she knew them and they wanted to support her. And
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's why I'm excited to chat about these 5 things today because I've implemented them. If I had implemented them from the beginning, I mean, I've
Yeah.
implemented them now.
Yeah.
I know I would have had a way better result from that. Even the personalized faith plan, that was something they didn't even know they wanted. But if I would have found that out a lot sooner,
Yeah. Right. Right.
because now it's inside the Calling Clarity course
Mhm.
and everybody loves it. They're like, oh, that was just the piece that helped me understand how I could continue growing my relationship with God without having to always show up at church, kind of thing.
Yes. Right.
So the
Right.
first thing is that it's loyal clients and customers, that
Mhm.
these people, like you said, the t-shirt lady had
Mhm.
relationships with them. They were already loyal to her before.
Yes.
So that's why they bought for her. And
Of course.
so that was building those relationships first rather than investing in all these upfront things like branding and product development and taking pictures
Yeah.
and really focusing on connecting to those potential clients. Not everybody will be your client, but
No.
to find out, is this what they really want? Because I can tell you right now, that example that you gave, how many other people are selling t-shirts,
Yes. And
and
journals.
journals and mugs and all of that stuff? It's like,
Yes.
how do you stand out? What makes you different? You don't know unless you talk to people. That's why we call it the ICA interviews, the ideal client avatar interviews. You've got to find them, right?
Right. You do, because you don't know what people will really want. She thought her solution, her product was the thing that would make her stand out.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. She, if she had maybe talked to people, interviewed people, and thought more about it and worked through some of the exercises that we now
Mm-hmm.
have,
Mm-hmm.
then it would have worked out way better. And she
Yeah.
wouldn't have been, upset about it and all that kind of stuff. So,
Right. By
yeah.
creating, by talking to people, they get excited about what you're going to do. And you get like a clearer picture of what they're actually looking for. Like personally, I would not, even though it has Christian message on it, I don't wear t-shirts,
Right.
and so where
Right.
do you find these people? How do you figure out where they're even hanging out? What are they talking about? Why would they want to wear this?
Right.
What is your niche? And I hate, people hate that when you say that. It's like, do you want to make t-shirts? I mean, we always made t-shirts for when we went on mission trips. How many youth mission trips are there that you could sell t-shirts to, right? Or something like
Yeah.
that. But if you don't have
Right.
that niche, if you haven't talked to anybody to find out what the needs are, you're not going to be able to have a foundation really for a successful business, because you need those loyal customers, because those first loyal customers tell the next set of loyal customers who tell the next set of loyal customers.
Exactly.
It's like
Exactly.
that flywheel we talk about. You have to push the little bit at first and get the momentum going, and then it
Yeah.
keeps going and that kind of stuff. And really finding out who your ideal clients are takes a little bit of
Yes.
work. We have a tool in Calling Clarity called the Overcomer tool. It's like, how do you really want to serve those God's called you to serve? How can you best do that? And our overcomer tool helps you look at what have you already overcome in your life. Those are the best kind of businesses too.
Right. Yes. Because most likely people have gone through the same thing or similar situation, and how you overcame it is a great way to help somebody else do the same.
Right. And they get that builds like trust to make
Yeah.
those loyal customers and clients right away.
Yes.
I think that's the best thing. Okay, well, let's go on to the second thing. That's
Yep.
market validation. This is what I love. And I think it goes back to what Misty was saying in her testimonial there. It's that engaging with those potential clients, even before you create the offering, really enables you to validate that business idea. If I had validated the personalized faith plan, I would have found out that this is too hard. I got to think of a different way. Or
Yeah.
what do they really want? Does it always say, give them what they want in the front and then bring them in and give them what they need. And then you
Yes.
seem like oh, you're amazing,
Yeah.
right? But we have to understand their needs,
Right.
their problem, their pain points, their
Yeah.
even their
Preferences. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
their
Like what?
preferences. How
Just
do
like you
we
said about the t-shirt. You're not
yeah,
going to, your preference is to not wear a t-shirt.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
when I went on mission trips with the youth, yeah, because
What?
I was in a third world country. Who
Yeah.
cares what I look like,
Right.
right? And
Right.
I was painting, and yeah,
Oh,
my
yeah.
t-shirt, it was fine, right?
Yeah.
But we really do have to tailor the products, the services to really meet their expectation, because that's what's going to excite them. Give them what they
Yes.
want, then bring them in to give them what they need. I'm going to say that about 1,000 times
Okay. Good. Good.
because I think when you do this kind of market validation, it really helps you minimize the risk of investing
Yeah.
your time and your money into something that may not resonate with what you believe is your target audience.
Exactly. But you believe, yes. That's saying we come in with all these preconceived ideas like, oh, these people are going to want this. And no, we have to figure that out. We have to really figure out who it is. And you have to get started with your first clients. Like maybe we want to call them a beta group where
Right.
you are. And these cannot, I got to say, they cannot be your family and friends, because your
And they
family and
can't be done
friends.
for free.
Right, right. Because these people, your family and friends and free, they're going to be like, this is great. I love this. Yeah, I would wear this, or I would do this plan, or I
Yep.
would take this course. They're going to love it because they love you and they want to support you and they want to see you succeed.
Right.
So you really got to get people who you don't know to be part of your beta group.
Yeah. And I mean, that comes from having those conversations first and really asking questions. I know our ICAs, our interviews, we're doing market research. So
Yes.
we're getting people on calls with us to ask specific questions to find out what it is that they want based on what you can provide. And sometimes what people find out is that, well, I don't really want to go in this direction. I don't like who I'm talking to, or they're expecting
Right.
something that I didn't anticipate. And that's not what I want to do. So you stop and you pivot and you go in another direction
Yep.
until you find that thing that clicks with you and what you want to solve. And you don't have to solve everybody's problems. Solve the problem that you know you're best equipped for. And I think that's what's really great about having this. So when you're ready for that beta, you've had so many interviews and you've gotten them all in your email list. You've had so many interviews. We want you to have 25, 35, 50 interviews
Yes.
with people. Just imagine those are the first people that when you're ready to launch your beta, you can go back to and say, okay, now I'm ready. Would you like to pay less than what the course is going to
Right.
be eventually, or the product or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to give me feedback? And
Yes.
those will be the people that jump on the offer. And that even adds a layer of validation, because once you go through the beta, you can discover what more they need that you can provide that will be like, whoa, this is amazing. And that happened to
Yeah.
us when we went our new iteration back in 2020, when we made our new iteration of
Yeah.
the Calling Clarity course,
Right.
right?
even though you had been doing calling clarity one-on-one or in your group, your in-person networking
Mm-hmm.
group, boy, and I was just coming along then and learning, and boy, we discovered a whole new world of questions, things to think about from these new ladies that came on in our beta group.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And even though we were promising to help you figure out what God's direction is for you, that's our promise in Calling Clarity. We'll get you out of the roundabout of all the ideas and the possible exits and really help you know God's design and which one of those exits to get off of. We found out during our 6 weeks of doing it live that they needed the next step. Like, okay, I figured
Right.
it out. How do I start? How do I
Yeah.
get going? And to really launch, some people were relaunching because they were already doing an iteration of what like we were doing,
Yeah.
and they relaunched something, and it just made so much more sense. And we found out and we created something right there in that 6 weeks that they could take with them.
Yeah.
And of course we have ongoing support. So
Right.
that leads us into the third thing. That was the valuable feedback that
Mm-hmm.
we got. That's what's so great about building these relationships. We got valuable feedback because we were connecting with these potential clients early on and then had the beta. We were able to gather that valuable feedback that really helped us, informed us about how to develop this offer, make it better than we could possibly have thought it could be. Right.
Right, right. And they paid at a reduced discounted rate. They paid to be in part of the beta. And so they had skin in the game. They
Mm-hmm.
wanted it to work for them
Yeah.
and for us, because they were very nice and everything, and they wanted to work. And they gave us ideas for improving, or they gave us ideas of new opportunities, which is like what you talked about. We ended up giving them a launch plan, and we include technical parts in it, and
Yeah.
email marketing. And so then we were refining.
Oh,
And that's what you
definitely.
will do too. You'll refine what you're doing, and based on really what the world wants, what the
Oh,
people, I shouldn't say the world. I
the
didn't mean to say
people,
that. The
your ideal
people,
clients.
your
Yeah.
people. Yes.
Yeah, what your people want. And
Yeah.
these are real world insights that we
Yeah.
got. And so we're on our 2.0. We've even upped our game since then. We started that way, made that new thing. We've re-upped it because this iterative approach really ensures that you're creating solutions that truly address the needs of your ideal client, because they may change. You might notice something.
Yeah.
I know our overcomer tool came out of one client having
Yeah.
a problem with deciding what to do. And I said, well, just do this. And she did it so beautifully. I was like, everyone needs this. And so we added it to our offering. It's
Right.
really wanting to really help our ideal clients, the ones that God's called you to serve. And that's what I think is so great. And this reminds me of a woman I met in networking who really took this to heart about um, building those relationships first before she even had a product. And her name's Valerie. And I don't know if she'll ever listen to this, and she'll know exactly who she is. But um, she's a nutritionist. And like I said, I've been in networking with her, and I actually hired her for a while as a nutritionist. Um, and she actually told me that because I had published my book, that I had inspired her to publish her recipe book. I'm going to say her first recipe book. I'm sure she's going to do more in the future, but it's not where she started. But I'll tell you, when that recipe book came out, there are people all over the place lined up to like buy it.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
that's not how she started. She began with these tastings because she was sharing with her clients these different recipes and telling them what kind of smoothies to make and she was really about people with allergies. And because I had a gluten allergy, not an allergy, but gluten intolerance. So, that's one of the reasons I went with her. So she had these great recipes for people to help substitute stuff so that you could have delicious food and not like have this allergy happen to you or this intolerance, right? And I loved it. And so you would pay. So she was making money, right? You
Hmm.
would pay to go to these tastings, and there was 3 dishes. It was just 3 dishes. And she I love the fact that she collaborated with a winery, so we all could
That's
buy
cool.
wine when we were there
That's
and stuff like
good.
that. And so she had it all set up. It was a great little place, and she had it all set up where you could watch the monitor while she was putting it together and
Nice.
showing it.
Yeah.
And her husband was like doing the plating while she
Oh,
was describing how to put it together. Obviously, she had it all ready because I think there was probably, I don't know, I think it fit like 24 people in this location. And
okay.
so when she said she was going to have a tasting, it was like, you better hurry up and sign up and pay because it was going to
Yeah.
fill up. Because these events, I missed a couple because I just didn't get in there fast enough because
Wow.
people heard about, oh, Valerie's having
Yeah.
her next tasting. And so what I really loved is that, we would sit there. She would tell stories. She would, because her kids, she got into this because her kids were allergic to so many foods. And
Mm-hmm.
so in doing that, she had created a business for herself and realized that there were other moms that needed this. But
Right.
then all of us as adults who wanted to eat more healthy and wanted, so she had like
Right.
these different audiences that she was growing. So of course, when her cookbook came out, her recipe book came out, we were all like, yeah, now we can all have these recipes that she's only been sharing with her personal clients. So I thought that was just a brilliant way to really be able to um, build that audience
Yes.
for
Yes.
her,
Right. And so then, like, you went, all these other people went, then they told other people, and so on and so on.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
And
it's great.
go,
It was
yeah,
great. No, go
it's
ahead.
good. No, I was just going to say, and that's how then you can spread your knowledge out there and about you, and then people ended up buying your cookbook.
Oh, I know. It was
Yeah.
just great. All right, well, let's get some feedback from those who are listening and those who are watching. What has been your approach to your business so far? Did you brand yourself? Did you create the website? Did you get all your colors? Did you get a logo? What did you do? Did you create an offer based on something that you just wanted to do? What about this client focused approach? Is it hitting
Yeah.
home for you? Is it still confusing for you? Let us know down in the comments what's going on in your brain. What are you thinking? We'd love to know.
Right.
Because it's really important to get feedback from you too, so we
Right.
know how to better come at these podcasts, at these
Right.
videos, because we really want to answer your questions about having a God centered business. So let us know.
And and I'd like to add another question. Has it stopped you from moving forward?
Oh,
Because I've had a lot of clients who's come to me, they want a website, they want all the stuff, but they can't afford it because
mm.
websites are expensive and they can't afford it. So what are they doing now? Nothing. No, don't let it stop you.
Yes, they don't have the alternative. They don't have the true way to build the business
Right.
because we've
Exactly.
been we've been duped for too long.
Yep.
So I want to go back to Valerie's story for a minute though, because I think it truly shows us the next point, which is number 4, authenticity and trust. By building this amazing reputation and following for her food. When Valerie's book did come out, as we said, everybody was eager to
Yep.
purchase, and building those relationships before launching or relaunching or trying to get it back up if you've stopped. um, it really, by doing it that way, it fosters that authenticity and that trust. You demonstrate that you have a genuine interest in your ideal client's concerns. And you do that by engaging in meaningful conversations through those ICA interviews, engaging in your postings on your social
Yes.
media, all of those different things. And when you really are having these meaningful conversations, you really establish yourself as the trusted advisor, the person who has the answers, rather than just some business trying to sell you something like a
Right.
t-shirt
Right. Yes.
or even
Yes.
a recipe book. Oh, here's another
Right.
recipe book. What made her different was that trust that she had built, that being authentic in front of people, And that's what
Right.
really sets you apart from your competitors and fosters that long-term loyalty that we talked about in number one.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. And she also, her, back to her authenticity. Oh my gosh, I can't say it. Whatever. Her transparency. She told about her family, and it builds that whole sharing her story builds trust.
Yeah. And I mean, we always talk about the blue ocean, that we want to rise above our competitors. How do we do that? We do that by knowing our design of ourselves, how we are so different. Now,
Yep.
I'm not saying we all have to spend months and months like she did. Of course,
No,
she was
no.
making money while she did
Yeah,
that as well.
that's a good point.
And she needed time to put the book together. So she was like, how can I
Yeah,
make money while I put my product together, and knowing what recipes should go in the book, and testing the recipes at the tastings. There's a
yeah,
lot. We don't all have to do that. That's the way she did. In fact, with our mosaic masterpiece model, it's inside of our calling clarity. Everybody has to know that they go together. That's our model, our method, right?
yeah.
We do get you started talking to your potential clients right away. That's why we call
Right.
it the ICA interviews, because these are relationship building calls for you. As I said, these interviews that help to get people interested, see who's interested, put them on your email list.
Yes. Most importantly. No, I shouldn't
um,
say most importantly.
it is. I mean, let's
It's important.
reiterate what do statistics say about the email list, Mary?
Oh my gosh, you have to have an email list, and you have to constantly be working to get new people on your list, because it's the only thing you really own. If
Mm-hmm.
your Facebook, your Instagram could be gone tomorrow, and you have no way of reaching your
Yeah.
potential clients.
Yes. And it's still the best way to get clients. I mean,
It
statistically,
is.
right? Yeah.
Yes, showing
Yeah.
up in their inbox
Yeah.
weekly, whatever frequency you prefer is
And we
very
do pretty
important.
well with that. So I think that's a good something. I want to
Yeah.
reiterate that we can teach you too, because
Right.
what do we have? Like a 40% open rate on
Yes,
our
we have
list.
40% open rate, which is really good. And you
Industry
think,
standards like
oh,
20%
20,
or less.
25, around 25%. And then the open rate, or I'm sorry, the click rate, if they actually click on a link in your thing, is really low.
Mm.
I can't remember what it is right now, but we're happy with ours.
Yes, we're happy with ours.
Yeah, it's
And
really low.
so,
It's less than 10%,
yeah,
which sounds crazy. But again, think about how many emails are out there. And
yeah,
yeah. So you have to get
exactly.
those people who are interested on
Yeah.
your list.
And I will tell you that people that I've talked to and have come in, our clients and pre-clients, as I like to call them, they're opening 80 to 100% of our
Yeah.
emails. So
Yeah.
people that are truly interested, you can figure that out, and
Right.
you can target them in special ways for special things.
Right.
So, but I just love that are doing we get people doing this right away, so that they can build those relationships through those interviews, get valuable information for their own client journey, as you're building, like,
Mm-hmm.
what do they really want, where are they, what is their zero state, right, where
Mm-hmm.
what is that pain that they're in, and where do they want to go, how can we make them the hero of their own story,
Yeah.
and be in that hero state. These interviews help you even craft what your course looks like, just like it helped us to
Yep.
say they also need this. And it crafted more value, gave us more value in what our offer was. So then guess what? You can charge more. Just put it out there.
Yes, because you're offering a lot of value and solutions.
Yes, right. And they can help, they can't help but say yes to you when they see that you're in their head, that you're going to give them exactly what they need to get to where they want to go. That's the important
Mm-hmm.
part. That's the
Right.
important part. Okay, that brings us to our fifth one, is cost effectiveness.
Yes. Woohoo.
Oh, so
And we've kind of alluded to all of this as we've been talking about,
yes.
all the upfront money that you may people are telling you that you
You
may
have to put
need.
out.
So yeah.
Exactly. Because I've had people tell me when they fill out the questionnaire for our clarity call, that they say, I have spent money on this, or I've spent money
Yeah.
on this. I don't know if I have enough money to do this. And I'm just
Right.
like, oh, I feel so sad that they've
I
already spent
know.
so much money trying to do something and they want more people. My challenge is get more people to my website. I'm like,
Right.
how many really? Anyway,
Yeah. So,
that's why we call this flying the plane as you build it, because it allows you to start your business with those minimal upfront costs instead
hmm
of investing in that elaborate branding, the website development right away. You
hmm
can leverage what we have are low cost and even free marketing
hmm
channels to connect with your audience. We talked about that email list. You can have it free up to your
free.
first 1,000 people. You
Yes.
had,
I get so
you had
upset when I hear some ladies, they're like, oh no, I'm paying for such and such. I'm like, what? It's
exactly.
free. You
It's
could get a free
free.
one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have 10,000 people on your email list
No,
yet. Then you
no.
start to pay, but not until then, less
Right.
than 10,000, but
Yeah.
and making yourself look more professional by having a branded email and not just
hmm
Gmail. That will cost you something, but it's a
hmm
low cost. It's not the
Right.
hundreds or thousands of dollars you're going to spend having a website.
No.
Yeah, we want you to get money in the door first. Then we can build on all those other pieces that you may see that I have. But I didn't start there. I wish I had started this way. I
I
started with
know.
upfront costs, then backed up from it because it was too hard. And then, of course, free things like social media, going to networking events,
hmm
your email newsletters. Those help you to grow your email list. That's, like we said, the best way to market still,
Yep.
and really reach those who are genuinely interested in what you're doing. To have what we call warm leads and not be cold calling.
Right. Exactly.
That's very
Yes.
good for introverts as well, to have
Yes. We
warm
want
leads.
warm. Yes. Which if introverts out there, you can do this. If I am like what 78% introverted. I can't
Yeah,
remember what, but it's
yeah,
it's high. So
it's
you could do
high.
this too. If I could do this, you could do this.
Yeah. I mean, this approach really conserves your resources while still really laying that groundwork, that foundation for future growth.
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
this is just something that like I said, this would have saved me so much money. I've spent, well, I know probably you have too, Mary. I've spent
Yeah.
thousands and
Oh
thousands
yeah.
and thousands of dollars developing websites, going to conferences.
Yeah.
I went to a high level mastermind in Dubai. I've done all these things. I've spent so much money trying to get the business going. Thank goodness the business has made enough money for me to like break even and a
Right.
little bit more. But imagine we'll keep going. We'll keep doing the things that we're doing. And Mary's really good at finding all of these low cost items as well. So in Calling Clarity, we're always recommending, and we know we have people that come in having been sucked into
I
some
know.
big CRM that has the bells
Yeah.
and whistles that they don't need yet because they're not
I
big enough.
know. I know. And they don't realize that it takes a lot to set them up. I mean, if you're paying for something that's, I don't know, $25 a month, say, you have to do a lot of work to set this up.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do it for you. It's a big system and you have to do a lot of work to get it the way you want it to be.
Exactly.
So, I don't know how to say it, but the more the cost, the more involved you're going to have to be in it too. So, we help you start out free, and then if you grow that much that quickly, then yes, then you can go get those bells and whistles.
Yeah,
And
we
it's
always,
one, yeah, we encounter this a lot, so don't
mhm,
feel bad if you do this,
yeah,
because the marketing of these companies, they suck you in and they say, oh, you need to do this. If you want to do that, you got to have this package.
exactly.
Yeah. And we,
Exactly.
and I, that's one of my personal mission statements is to help women with technology and not get duped, because I see it all the time. So
Yeah,
it's one of
definitely.
my missions to help women just work with technology and easily,
Right.
and
And
not pay
excessively.
and
Yeah.
excessive, yes, and not pay these
Uh,
costs that
oh, I
you're
know. It's
tricked
crazy.
into
It is
needing.
it is so crazy because there's so much information out there,
Yeah.
and being involved in doing this for the last 10, 15 years now, um, I see all the mistakes that I made. And
Oh, yeah.
and if I just started this way, but that's not how it is.
No.
That's not how it was. And I think even since the pandemic, we this relationship marketing is even stronger now, that's what
Yeah.
people want. And you can't be a billboard anymore. You can't
No.
just put your shingle out there and expect everybody to come. As we
No.
like to say, just because you build it does not mean that they will come.
No, no. And I tell that now to clients about their websites. Just because you build this, I wish I had known this earlier to help my other clients. In the example of the lady with t-shirts and journals, think about, everything she invested, the money and everything. And then other than her close-knit people, nobody else bought. It's a billboard.
Right.
It's a billboard that not many people are going to see because there's
Too much out there.
millions of other billboards on the internet.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think the most important thing for us it's about really making sure that what you want to do really aligns with what God has designed you to do. So even though we talk about all these things, I think that's the most important things, because we want to build a business that's not only transforms our clients, takes them from that zero state to that hero state, but
Mm-hmm.
does so in a way that also matches our own design, our own personality, the way that we are. It needs to fit into how we want to do business, how we want to live our life.
Right.
And so many of these other coaches and programs, they give you a certain blueprint to follow without regard to how it's going to personally meet
Right.
your
Yep.
needs, right?
Yep.
We
Mm-hmm.
are all about helping you create a business that will be exciting for you, that will motivate you to want to jump out of bed every day and do it, even those mundane things. Right.
Right. Yes, exactly.
um, God wants you to really know how to grow your audience, to find those ideal clients, then really have the strategies to connect with them, because that's who he's calling you to serve. That's who he's created you to
Yes.
serve, at least at
Right.
this point in your life.
Right. Exactly. He wants you to make that impact for these people and to use your gifts and your talents for good, and with this approach, I would keep on saying that. I said that in another podcast, but with this approach, you'll get loyal clients and customers, and you'll get market validation. You'll know exactly what they want and how you can help them. That's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. And it's
Yeah.
just not all your idea. You can't do everything just in your own vacuum. You
Oh,
have to get
yeah.
out there and do the work to build trust in your audience.
Yeah. I mean, when we have loyal clients and customers, they're ready and waiting for our
Yes.
offer. And when we validate it, we know what they want and we can make it better. Right.
Right.
And
Right.
we get
Yeah.
that valuable feedback so we
Yeah.
can add what they need. And it makes us look so amazing.
Right. And you're going to be doing it in a cost effective way for them. And people love to do things cost effectively. And
Right.
we want you to. We don't want
Exactly.
you to use the software. We're not affiliates. We're not going to,
No.
we're not
Mm-mm.
affiliates for MailerLite or whatever. Just
Yeah,
go use it.
exactly. Go use it. And it really helps to build the authenticity of ourselves, our transparency, the trust, because we have to have the know, like, and trust factor, right?
Yes,
That's
we
what we
do.
have to have.
We do.
Because God has called you and me into business, it is best that we have all the information that we need all in one place,
Yes.
not trying to piece it together from all these different places, all these different coaches, all these different programs and blueprints and all that stuff. So if you're looking for a place where you can get the right support to have the business that God is calling you to do, I'd like to invite you to get on a clarity call with me. I'll put that link down in the description so you can click on it and easily make that appointment to chat with me. It's
For
free.
free.
It's for free.
For free.
Let's just chat. Let's find out. I want to thank you so much for joining us on the Truth in Business Show. Make sure to give the video a like subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening, we would love a review. That would be great. 5 stars. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Make sure to comment. What is going on for you? How are you rethinking, reframing how you're going to be approaching your business? And make sure to
Yes.
share this episode. Somebody else probably needs the same thing.
Right.
This,
Yes.
this is Deneen TV.
And I'm Mary Allure.
Have a great rest of your day. And as always, be filled to overflowing.